Hello everybody! Within the next 5 minutes, I will reveal how you can exploit human psychology to make your personal conversation 1,000 times more interesting, more attention-grabbing, and very much more intriguing. So make sure that you find a pen and a paper and write down and take notes. Okay, so let's get down to it. This technique is probably among the top 5 conversation techniques that I can teach you. And this is actually not a technique that I have come up with myself. This is the technique that CNN uses to make people stay tuned in during the commercials. And you can do the exact same thing in your conversations. It's just how human psychology works. So the technique I'm talking about is called the Zeigarnik effect. It goes back to a wonderful experiment done by a woman called Zeigarnik. Okay, so what Zeigarnik found was that the human mind has a safety feature built into it. And this safety feature allows us to remember important stuff. For instance, if I told you right now to stand up from your computer and walk into the kitchen and then turn the stove on, and then afterwards I asked you to go into the bathroom and turn all the taps on, so you would have the running water and a live flame going in your kitchen. And then I asked you to come back and sit in front of the computer. And you could do that. But you would sit in front of the computer with this urgent feeling inside that you have a task going that you need to complete. You could not leave your home before you did that, because you would have this strong feeling inside that there is something that you need to complete before you can leave your home safely. It's the same feature that made sure that the human beings way back 10,000 of years back, when we were living in caves, if people were leaving their babies to go hunt, then they would have this urgent feeling inside that they need to return before a short time. Otherwise, bad stuff could happen to their baby, or their baby could die of hunger. So, what is the Zeigarnik effect? A lot of people try to explain the Zeigarnik effect like curiosity or something like that. But that, in my opinion, that's totally wrong. The Zeigarnik effect can be explained with one word and one word only, and that word is incompleteness. In my opinion, the human mind cannot forget things that are incomplete. And it makes sense, because if you turn on the stove in your kitchen and you have a flame going there, in your mind you will kind of record that as something incomplete, because you know you need to turn the stove off, otherwise your whole apartment is going to burn down to the ground. So you remember this as something incomplete, and you will always have this urgent feeling of you need to turn off the stove before you leave your home. Or maybe when you leave your home, you need to lock the door. So if you don't lock the door, you will walk around with a feeling of incompleteness, that there was something that you didn't finish. And this is one of the most powerful feelings in the human mind, because this is something that is so basic to our survival that we just can't let it go. So every time we leave something important incomplete, we know we can't let it out of our mind. We can't let it go until it is completed. In the real world, a lot of TV stations and newspapers are really using this to making sure that their viewing audience are watching their commercials. And the way they do that is by letting you watch a movie. For instance, imagine yourself sitting there watching a movie, and in the movie it's an action movie, and in the movie there's a car chase, and it's getting more and more exciting, and you really want to see how this car chase ends. Does the bad guys kill the good guy or whatever? And then at the most exciting second of that car chase, they're gonna cut it off, and then they will go to commercials. And then you're gonna sit there with this feeling of incompleteness. You really want to know how the car chase are going to end. but they're not gonna let you know how the car chase is going to end before you have watched the commercials. And because they know the psychology that you're sitting there as a human being with this incomplete feeling, you need to know how this car chase are going to end. They know that you are going to watch the commercials. That's the Zeigarnik effect in real life use. What they effectively did was to kind of hook you with an incomplete scenario. They show you a scenario and then they cut it off before it completes. So you are sitting there with an incomplete feeling, and you have the feeling that you must see this scenario to the end. So in fact, that is what makes a thousand upon thousand of people watching commercials every day, because they're sitting there with an incomplete feeling inside, and they have to watch the commercial through to see what happens on the other side in the end of the series or the movie. So you can also use this in your conversations. What you can do is you can make a hook like they do on the television or in the newspapers. You can hook your audience, and then you know from that point off the audience has to listen to you until the end of your conversation before they will feel relieved. So when you hook people, they will have an incomplete feeling inside, and they feel that they have to listen to the end of the story to feel relieved, completed. That's what I'm gonna show you in the second part of this video. I'm gonna give you like 30 different examples of how you can hook your audience with real life Zeigarnik effect conversational hooks. So let's get on with it, and I hope I see you on the other side. Bye.